Alright, we're back again with another battle report with the Salamanders continuing their campaign against the Tyranids. So, I'm going to go over the Tyranid list here. We're continuing our playthrough all of the Eternal War missions of the basic rulebook. Then after that, we'll probably start bumping the points up as we get into potentially some more missions from the rulebook or from the Grand Tournament book that I have. So let's take a look at this list. 1,500 points of Tyranids, Leviathan, Hive fleet. Really shook things up this round, give them something new to play against, and also kind of make it a strange challenge for me. A lot of units that I haven't really brought a ton, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So starting out with my HQ, I have a Neurothrope who has Catalyst on him. I chose to get the Adaptive Physiology to one of my units as my Warlord trait, and he is the Warlord. And I brought in Malanthrope. I'll show you what I'm going to try and achieve with him in a moment. So that's my HQ choices. And I have in troops, I have 3 Tyranid Warriors with Spinefists. Had to save just a tiny bit extra points to get 1,500 points on the dot. 10 Termagants, 3 Ripper Swarms. Then in the elite slot, I have the Hive Guard. I had to bring them just, or else I think it would have been really rough. So I brought them just to kind of be my general artillery. Combined with the Biovores, it should be pretty fun. And they have 5 Zoanthropes with Psychic Scream and their Warp Blast power, which is their smite. I brought the Haruspex. I thought it's just, let's bring him out. Give the Exocrine a break. I'm sure he wants a break from the Exocrine. And I also forgot to mention I have the Resonance Barb on the Neurothrope as well. Moving over this way, I have 2 Tyrannofexes. I stuck the acid spray on there. They actually have Rupture Cannon, and they both have Dermic Symbiosis, so I lost the CP, gaining an extra high fleet adaptive physiology, that's the word. So I need to still model my Rupture Cannon, so it's going to take me a bit to get that fixed up. And then I have 3 Biovores, so that is 1,500 points of Tyranids. One other thing is if you're interested in learning how to magnetize Tyranids, let me know. Eventually I'm going to get some new models, and I will do a video on how you can magnetize it quite easily and affordably.
There we go. Alright, 1,500 points Salamanders. Starting with my HQs, I have Primaris Librarian. He's running Drakeskin, Veil of Time, and I can't remember the other one at the moment. I think it's Psychic Fortress. He took a CP for his Reliquary of Gathalamor. My Inquisitor in the middle, he's running Dominate. He's an Ordo Xenos, so he gets to reroll 1 hit and 1 roll against keyword Tyranid. And Lieutenant in the middle, he is going to be my Warlord. Over here we got my Dreadnought, which is not modeled the same as I'm running him. I'm running him with twin autocannons, so 4 heavy shots each instead of my Plasma and the Flamer. Over here I got my Centurion Assaults. I'm running Hurricane Bolters and heavy Flamers, just regular Flamers. And I got my Land Raiders to carry them along. I have 1 5-man squad of Tech Marines with the Sergeant with Lightning Claws, and the odd Marine is running the last cannon. Moving over, I got 5 Scouts around Snipers, which is hopefully going to do something against his Psychic beings. And then over here, I have another 5-man attack squad with a rocket launcher and a sergeant with a power sword. And then these 5 are assault marines. No jump packs, but chainswords and bolt pistols. And with the drop pod right there, running storm bolters. 3 suppressors with their autocannons, and then a 5-man squad of infiltrators. And that is it for Salamanders. 1,500 points.
Alright, so we are playing the 4 pillars as our mission today. So we've set up the deployment zones, which are going to roll off, and then the winner gets to choose which zone they will take. So it's circle in the middle, and then the zones here, 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 and here. So whoever chooses their deployment zone, the opponent's is on the opposite side. There's 4 objectives. one here, there, and there. Going over secondary objectives, the primary objective is just take and hold. Secondary objectives for myself, I went with the mission secondary, which was Siphon Power. I thought that could be a fun one to do, since my infantry units don't really do anything anyway, for the most part. And then I also took Raise the Banners. That one was fun last time, so I thought, why not? Let's take it again. And the other one I went for was Engage on All Fronts. I figured with this mission being the way it is, with the table quarter split up, actually it should be fairly easy to have someone in each table quarter for most of the game. So it's going to cause me to spread out a bit, but I think it'll be a fun one. And then what did you go with for your missions?
I took Bring It Down, as always. He likes to bring his monsters, so I figure I might as well keep taking it. I also took Raise the Banners High, because I figured why not. I didn't do so well in the last game with Raise the Banners, but I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try playing a little bit different and see if I can make it stick. And then I also took the Siphon Power, the mission secondary objective.
We'll roll on camera here.
Roll on camera.
Yep, so see who gets to choose the zone. Ah,
Oh, beat it by 1.
Alright, so where would you like to go?
I would like to have... which to pick? I honestly think that I would like to have this corner right up here. Nice. Snagged it away, so that means this guy over here, he gets this corner with the big bulky cover and some little ones scattered around. But he does have the good side for the big ruins in the center. Yeah, you can slip right in there easy while I have to go around the sides with anything big. So, alright.
Alright, so we have deployed. Let's take a look at the Tyranid side first, since I'm standing right here. So I placed the Biovores hidden away. They're probably not going to have a whole lot come at them unless the drop pod wants to focus on them. But if it's all the way back here, I'm cool with that. Termagants holding this objective. Haruspex went here. I deployed him one of the last units because I wanted to see where he was going to place stuff, because I knew he would try and counter-deploy him and deploy away from him. So he ended up going there, and that's going to be his target. So hopefully a nice little close combat battle will occur. My Tyrannofexes, I deployed pretty aggressively with them. I feel as though with all of their Leviathan, the 5+, should be okay. We'll see though. And then the Zoanthrope's primed to float into the middle and start warp blasting everything with the Malanthrope in close proximity. So it's going to be a good battle, I think. This list is going to be challenging for me to use, but if I get my shots off, it'll be good. It'll be up to him to try and prevent the Tyrannofexes from being fully effective. But I'm going to have my hands full, because looking at this deployment, mistakes have been corrected. The scouts primed to use that +1 to wound and deal some heavy damage with the snipers, so they're going to be a main target for me. Hopefully he wants first turn, definitely. Suppressors hidden away, still in range of my Hive guard, I think. Probably going to be close. I'll have to check that after. But they'll be surviving turn 1 if he gets first turn for sure. There'll be no counter shooting at them depending on where he goes. Holding this objective here, these tack marines. The Inquisitor is waiting here just in case any psychic powers come up this way. He'll be able to come up and hopefully stop the Zoanthropes from being a big threat in there. And the Librarian is chilling. And then the Land Raider is going to slip around the backside there. One thing we'll note, when we design our tables, we try and make sure that all areas are accessible to vehicles. So while like it should be able to fit back through there, like there's a few times where like I know technically everything has to be on the table, but we want to make sure the table is accessible for the most part and not super restricting in movement, because we do play with a lot of terrain. So make sure it's even in that regard. So let's go. First turn. Got a good die there. Let me grab the gray one. All right, big roll. Ooh, 2 ones. Oh no.
Oh no.
What is this? All right. 5. Oh, here we go.
Tyranids.
Yeah, first turn for sure. So we'll see what happens, but don't have a ton of targets, so it's going to be interesting. We'll come back after Tyranids turn 1 We'll see if he can weather the storm and return a ton of damage with his Salamander forces. Alright, so end of Tyranids turn 1. It's a pretty successful turn. I'll start off with movement here. What happened? The Zoanthropes, Malanthrope, Neurothrope all moved up. I rolled the advanced rolls, got these guys a little bit farther up. Raised the banner here on this objective. Haruspex is zipping along that way with the warriors in tow with him. So they're going to go up, grab that objective next turn, get my banner up. He's coming around because he knows the Land Raider is coming for him. So starting here, the Tyrannofex shot, double shot at the scouts. I killed 2 of them. I think it was, yeah, killed 2 of them. Then this Tyrannofex shot in at the Dreadnought, who is no longer there. I command re-rolled my damage. I got 2 wounds through, and I got 10 with the re-roll. I had 6 before that, so really fortunate for me. Did burn through a fair amount of CP, not as much as I normally do. I'm bad for that. The Zoanthropes moved up, got Catalyst from the Neurothrope. The Neurothrope smited in, took out the Librarian, took him down to, I think, 2 wounds, and then the Hive Guard fired in and finished him off just where he was closer, and also not within 3 inches of anyone. These Zoanthropes then Warpblasted in, got the 11, which is really awesome, but only did a total of 3 more wounds, which he saved 2 of them, I think it was. Warded, so paying off with Warded, so really nice. And then I almost forgot about my Biovores hiding there. Literally about the end of the shooting phase. And then these guys double shot. I was really just trying to clear off the last and also that objective. I know the lieutenant was still there, but trying to get rid of the objectives. And then the Biovores shot in at the tank. I thought if I miss 2 of them, I can spore mine there and around the other side. That tank can't do a thing. But wouldn't you know it, all 3 of them hit. And then I did D3 mortal wounds, rolling a 6, and then did another one. So I did, I think, 3 altogether, was it? 4. Right, you saved 2 with the ward. So, I mean, I chipped down the Land Raider, so I feel good about that. Points-wise, I didn't score anything this first turn, I don't think. I didn't have it because I did my action to put up the banner. I probably should have done that siphon thing. I guess it really wouldn't matter. It's a point each no matter what. But next turn where I capture that one, I can start doing the siphon and control 2 of them. So no points scored at the end of the first turn with my secondaries. I didn't get this table quarter. I could have moved the Tyrannofex, but I needed those double shots. And I could have moved my Zoanthropes, but I really wanted to get up there and just kind of be a thorn in his side. So I still have my River Swarms coming in. So that's the end of Tyranids turn 1. Alright, that's it for Salamanders turn 1. So we'll start up over on the corner here. The tank moved up, had enough movement there to get a shot in on the Haruspex and the Warriors. I was hoping to try and draw some fire away with the Warriors. Shot in, I made 2 Leviathan saves, I think, with them, so he only got 1 wound through. The Haruspex, though, he did amazing. So no save because of the -4 with the Devastator Doctrine and the Las Cannon, but I think I made 3. I made a fair amount of Leviathan rolls. It was 7 wounds in total, and only 4 went through. So I made 3 of them, which is awesome for me. Over here, though, the suppressors they moved this way and shot in at the Zoanthrope. So between the Las Cannon, the Inquisitor who snuck up there with the infiltrators inside that building, and these guys, they killed one of the Zoanthropes and dropped 1 more down to 1 wound in there. And then the Neurothrope got a mortal wound on him from the scouts who were shooting in and starting to chip away at the Neurothrope. Banner was raised here, so starting to get ready to rack the objectives up. He debated on putting the Siphon Power, but the last cannon shot won it out, and he actually the last cannon did 2 damage to one of the Zoanthropes. I think that was it. Yeah, but I made again I think 3 of my catalyst saves. So very fortunate. We've also discovered, for whatever reason, when I roll here, it's good luck. So next time we play, he's just making me deploy over there just out of spite to see what happens. But that's it for Salamanders turn 1. We'll come back after Tyranids turn 2 and see if I can return some damage. A lot of things are out of line of sight. It's going to be kind of a cat and mouse game from here, so it'll be interesting. That's the end of Tyranids turn 2. So points wise, I maxed it on my primary, getting 15 points, holding this objective. in that objective with the Haruspex at the start of the turn. The Warriors moved up just in range, threw the banner up there. Started to siphon this one. I also got 1 point for holding that banner. My Ripper Swarms came in right here. They're not allowed to get within 3 inches of the objective due to the rules of the mission. This Tyrannofex moved up because he literally had no targets at this point in time. So he came up here, fired in at the Infiltrators, took out one of them, and then between the Zoanthropes and the Hive Guard double shooting, I actually only dropped him down to a single Infiltrator left. Rolled amazing on his worded save, and then also on his regular save. So really well done on his part. Biovores moved. Game plan here is moving them, making it harder to hit, shooting at the Land Raider with the hopes of missing, putting the Spore Mine to roadblock him, re-rolled with the command roll, and still hit with 2 of them. But that 1 mine should do it though, just to kind of get in his way. So that's it for Tyranids Turn 2. That's the end of Salamanders Turn 2. So looking at the objective points, scoring 5 for holding this objective, and then also hit the banner up there, so got another point for that. Use the Lone Tack Marine to start siphoning power out with that one. Down this way, the Suppressors moved up to grab the hold of this objective. My Rippers are not controlling that. The Inquisitor moved up in advance. He's tucked right in there just to get in dominate range, which would have been brutal if he got it off with that. He did get it off, but I rolled a 12 on the deny, which was very fortunate for myself. Over this way, he just blasted everything with the Suppressors, Infiltrator, that Lieutenant, dropping the Zoanthropes there down to 2 models with 1 wound each. Oh, and the Centurions decided to make an appearance at this side instead of falling into my Haruspex trap over there, which is trap's being kind of taken apart because the Haruspex is down to 3 wounds. The Land Raider moved up after, or moved up enough that he could get line of sight on him. The Spore Mine was 3 inches away, so we moved up 2 inches with enough range to get some shots up on him and use the Heavy Bolter to just pop the Spore Mine there. Rot Pod came down on this side, dropped in, and Tack Marines came out on this side, Assault Marines came out here. Shot with the drop pod, took out a couple gaunts here, and then the Assault Marines were going to try and come down this way, but didn't make the charge. It was a long one, but they're protected by the cover from pretty much everything, so I have to actually move a bunch of stuff if I want to commit to it. The Warriors rolled insanely well. 2 missile launchers, and I rolled a 6 each time for their save. So very fortunate on my part, but not a lot of targets left for me. So it's gonna be an interesting run of the battle here now, because my big units are slow and they're quickly running out of shots. So we'll come back after Tyranids Turn 3. End of Tyranids Turn 3. So kind of a good turn, kind of a bad turn. Could have did better on some damage output. Scored well with my objectives. I got 10 for my primaries, where he controlled 2 over here. He denied me getting my max on primary. I got 2 for engage on all fronts. A little bit of, well, kind of an error. Would have been kind of risky. I could have moved my Zoanthropes and Neurothrope over into the other corner, holding all table quarters. But I want to stay away from the Lieutenant, and also the Centurions are coming out. So I just want to make him move forward without like jumping into a charge. That way I kind of have the cross shot through there with the Tyrannofex. And I also got a point for my 2 banners here, and then I also got another point for siphoning on this one. Now I moved my Warriors up. I was going to siphon, but then I thought I'm going to advance them. And I'm really kind of playing it trolly over here on the side of the table. So Biovores shot again. They moved, just shifting around away from his Assault Marines, and they shot in. Hit with 2 of them, of course, so his Land Raider's down to 10 wounds, so I've chipped off 6 wounds with the Biovores. I got 1 Spore Mine, so I blocked his movement. I was going to charge with the Haruspex, but I was like, nope, I want to stay there, because he could get enough movement to edge up with his Land Raider, start shooting at my core here, so, of my force. So I just blocked it off with the Haruspex. I'm going to make him shoot him, and then my Warriors also advanced just to give it Leviathan range. So they only have Spinefists, so I'll have to deal with those guys right there somehow. Some way. So the Tyrannofex shot in at the drop pod, the rupture cannon, of course, doing nothing, but the Stinger Salvo chipped away a couple guys here, which was awesome. This Tyrannofex shot in at the Lieutenant with his Stinger Salvo, dropping down 2 wounds, shot in with the rupture cannon at the Centurions dropped one down to, I think, 2 wounds, is it? 2 wounds on one. Now over here, the Zoanthropes, between all my psychic stuff and shooting with the Hive Guard, even with their double tap, they actually rolled miserably for that. Took out the suppressors, the infiltrator, and shot the Inquisitor with the Hive Guard, but he made 1 save. That's all I needed. And so he's down to 1 wound right now. So the Zoanthropes charged in. I got 1 wound off on him, but he made the save. It was a risky move, but you know what? I just thought he's gonna try and dominate me again. I can try and get in there and get rid of him, and then he's gonna, yeah. So risky, but I do control this objective now where these guys are troop choice, objective secured, so they have that. So moving into Salamanders turn 3. So end of Salamanders turn 3. We'll start over here. The Assault Marines moved up, took some shots at the Biovores, actually chipped one down, 2 wounds, went for the charge. It was a 10-inch charge, but missed that. All these Marines fired in at the Warriors. Again, really amazing on my saves. Made, I think, 2 Leviathan saves. Tanked with the Warrior with 1 wound left, and the rocket fired in and finished him off. Over this way, the tank retreated instead of getting roadblocked all the time. He said that's enough of that. So he backed up, took some shots at the Tyrannofex, dropped him down to 5 wounds. And then the Centurions moved up around to this side. And between them, or actually just them, they absolutely blew apart the Haruspex and killed the Spore Mine. But honestly, I think between everything that happened over there, the Haruspex kind of did his job, didn't really do anything in combat, but he really roadblocked a lot of his forces on that way. In terms of objectives, scoring 5 for that objective, scoring 1 for the flag, or banner, and then 1 for the Scything power. So it's time for Tyranids turn 4. Oh, actually, wow, how can I forget this? Really glazed over this. This was the hot zone of the table. So the Inquisitor, starting out, the Zoanthrope killed him in combat, which is legendary. I'm going to mark that Zoanthrope there. But I have no CP left. The Inquisitor went to dominate this Tyrannofex. I used my CP to try and use that Chronos thing to really block him. Didn't go through, tried to deny it. He rolled a 10, missed that. He got the dominate off, fired in with the Rupture Cannon right here, rolled 3 4s, all hit until I remembered the Malanthrope there. And also, actually, in rolling his leadership, he missed the roll. He needed 3d6 to get 7, missed that CP, so it was just hugely back and forth. It was hilarious. But that was it. So Tyranids turn 4. Alright, so that's the end of Tyranids turn 4 and also the end of the game. We're going to call it here. So pretty successful turn for the Tyranids. Big thing that happened was this Tyrannofex fired in and took out the Land Raider. I used my 1 CP that I generated back and rolled really good on my wounds. And then over here, this Tyrannofex only had line of sight on those Assault Marines, obliterated them. Then I chipped these Marines down just to 3 of them. And then I was also still holding that objective. And then big thing that happened over here was the Centurions. Biovores fired at them, and the Biovores moved. Those gaunts are representing Spore Mines. Missed all 3, so I had 3 Spore Mines blocking them in on the back. So with the Centurions unable to do anything for at least 2 more turns, that would seal the deal for the Tyranids. But we were just talking, this is probably our most interesting game to date. I have a lot of Tyranid stuff on the board, but it's yeah, like it was pretty much the Biovores, I think, that won me the game in the end. Like we were just discussing the back end, like you were saying that you probably wouldn't have kept the Land Raider down there. This was also your first time playing Biovores. I think I used them once when when we were learning the game, but it was like more. I don't think I really used them the way I did here. So yeah, you definitely would have come through the middle or something.
Yeah, we've gone through the middle, or we'll just put the Land Raider on the opposite side. Yeah, it's more open. Probably would have been smarter, but I was worried about getting wrecked for shooting.
Yeah, I think if you came up or even came up this way, because I mean, you could have eaten. You couldn't have eaten a bunch of damage from one of Tyrannofexes for sure, and then just kind of chilled here, and then denied me from even coming up this side of the board for fear of the Centurions coming through. But Yeah, on a whole, though, I'd say this is probably our most interesting game we've played. It was really kind of back and forth. It wasn't really to that last turn that I felt like it was decided. It was pretty close either way. I don't think I would have changed anything about my playstyle. So for you, do you think just the Land Raider in here?
Changing up the Land Raider, I would have either moved up the left side of the table, or I would have pushed up to the very center, dropped the assault Centurions into the middle building. That would have given me a good volume of fire into the castle the Tyranids set up. But other than that, I need to... My army is like a shooty Salamanders, but they're like... I just need to be on the objective.
Yeah.
I need to be more aggressive somehow.
And he does have the Indominus box, so those Outriders, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Outriders are waiting to join the force here, plus the Eradicators too will be really nasty in some scenarios, so... But in our next report, to shake it up, you're probably going to see, depends what I can put together, might see some Ultramarines coming on to take on the Salamanders, just for some fun there, or we may stick with Tyranids and Salamanders, but bumping it up to 2,000 points to really kind of shake up the gameplay. I think we have 2 missions left of the basic big rulebook missions, and then we're gonna look into maybe some open player actually starting a crusade and see how we can film that. So that is it.